CEO discovers incredible art by Black girl on sidewalk. Heartwarming transformation revealed. On a sunny afternoon in Willow Creek, a place often overlooked by those in power, Ava's vibrant spirit came to life. With a rainbow of chalk perched in her small hands, she sprawled across the cracked concrete, pouring her heart into every stroke. Each mural danced with color, depicting vivid tales of resilience, a family holding hands against a storm, dreams of flying kites high above the buildings, vibrant flowers blooming defiantly amid the gray. Her mother's struggle weighed heavily on her, but so did hope, and Ava was determined to show it. As she knelt there creating magic, oblivious to the rush of life around her, retirement-aged voices echoed, "Look at this." A passing crowd paused, captivated by her art. The scenes of joyful unity spoke of love and struggle, the stark contrast of their lives seeping into the onlookers' hearts. Her neighbors couldn't ignore it. Meanwhile, Ben, a 45-year-old tech CEO, walked these streets, now a stranger in the place where he once felt like a king. He wore ambition like heavy armor, but that day, he felt as hollow as the sky above. Lost amid corporate meetings and profit margins, he yearned for something real. Today, he returned his daily trek home, now a desperate attempt to reclaim the past. But then, there it was. An explosion of color. Ava's artwork from the ground, striking against the dullness of concrete, jumped out at him. For a moment, he was transformed, pulled back into the richness of life he once cherished. "Wow!" he gasped, entranced by the intricate details. The family in her drawings seemed to speak directly to him, resonating with his own struggles to connect. He whipped out his phone, snapping a picture, feeling the first flicker of inspiration ignite inside him. "Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen." Now let's continue. As the photo spread online, excitement rippled through the community. Local businesses rallied behind Ava, schools began to take notice, and what started as innocent art began to morph into something grander, a movement. But with each wave of support, Ava's mother felt the weight of fear tighten around her heart. Would fame rob them of their privacy? Would it take Ava from the warmth of home? And then there was Ben, grappling with his own moral compass. As Ava's visibility surged, he realized the chasm between their worlds, a divide stitched with injustice. Could he stand on his wealth, or would he honor Ava's authenticity, helping sustain her voice amid the clamor of the spotlight? As tensions rose, he faced Ava's mother, words sparking like fire. "I want to help," he implored, but her defenses surged. In the heat of the moment, their lives intertwined, all elements of hope and ambition spinning together, creating a delicate dance of dreams. With the question lingering in the air, Ben's heart raced, a clash of ambition and connection. Could one man truly change another's life, or would he choke the very essence of Ava's story? The crossroads felt both exhilarating and terrifying, a moment pregnant with possibility. What came next? Only time would tell. The sun dipped lower in the sky, casting an amber glow over Willow Creek. Ava sat in a cloud of colors, lost amidst the quickening pulse of life around her. It felt surreal to hear whispering praises from the small crowd that had gathered. She could hardly believe that her art had grabbed attention. Yet, with the burgeoning interest came the mounting pressure. What if they don't like it when it changes? She whispered to herself, smudging the chalk with her fingers. It barely made sense to her. All it took was a snapshot, a simple moment for someone like Ben to see her truth. Across the street, Ben felt excitement rush through him, a rare spark. The warmth of inspiration ignited fresh thoughts, fueling his restless spirit. What had started as a leisurely afternoon walk had turned into an unexpected journey to rediscover his roots. His heart raced with ideas swirling in his mind. How could he support her without overshadowing her raw talent? Could he channel this new energy into something real, something meaningful? But as he stood there, uncertainty flickered on Ava's mother's face, a stark reminder of the real stakes at hand. She was every bit a protective lioness. "You don't understand what this means for someone like us," she said, her voice rising with emotion. The crowd shifted, sensing the tension. Faces turned, curious about the stranger wearing polished shoes, standing before the canvas of colored chalk and vibrant life. Ben's intent shifted from admiration to advocacy. "I can help you. I have connections, resources. I want to create partnerships that empower," he said, earnestness lacing his words. Ava's mother eyed him warily. "And at what cost? We've seen people take from us before." He could feel the weight of her apprehension. "I won't take, I promise," Ben insisted, a sincerity in his voice that surprised even him. "I want to give you both the chance to shine on your own terms." As the moment hung in the air, Ava looked up, catching the flicker of hope in Ben's eyes. Beneath her fear, there was a glimmer of something else, a willingness to trust, to dream bigger than her sidewalk. But doubt lingered. What if you change everything? What if it becomes more about you? Those words echoed deeply. Ben felt a pang of culpability, recognizing the fragile balance between ambition and authenticity. "I know I can't promise you everything will remain the same," he started. "But I can promise you that your voice won't be silenced." A silence enveloped them, all breaths held. The crowd leaned in, caught between worlds still disconnected yet intriguingly intertwined. It was a delicate balance of dreams, desires, and fears poised on the edge of realization. Then Ava stood, eyes glistening with possibility. "Let us talk, let us find a way to make it work without losing us," she said, declaring her own terms, her own dreams. The onlookers erupted with whispers of admiration while Ben nodded, his heart swelling. It was this vibrant girl who had spun magic from chalk, dredging life back into his weary soul. But between the artists and the corporate world loomed an invisible barrier, an uncharted territory for both of them. As they began to map out this new partnership, the sun dipped lower, casting long shadows over their futures, shadowed by uncertainty yet brightened by hope. But would they navigate the looming challenges, or would the emerging pressure crack their new alliance? The question lingered, heavy and inevitable. What would happen when the world began to take notice? The air buzzed with anticipation as Ava and Ben stepped aside, away from the crowd. The streetlights flickered on, illuminating the sidewalk that had temporarily become a canvas for her dreams. She could still see the glimmers of admiration in the eyes of the onlookers, the gentle whispers that floated around her like a warm embrace. "Where do we start?" Ava asked, her voice a mix of excitement and anxiety. She had dreamt of this moment to share her art on a broader stage, but now the enormity of the potential transformation felt overwhelming. Ben took a deep breath, grounding himself in the reality of their newfound connection. "First, we need to understand what you want to achieve," he said, his tone steady. "Art isn't just a product. It's a reflection of you, and I want to make sure that remains intact." "That's what scares me," Ava confessed, biting her lip. "I don't want to lose myself in this." Ben nodded, sensing the weight of her words. "Your voice is powerful. I see that in every stroke, every color. It's about creating spaces for you to flourish, not changing who you are. Maybe we can start by showcasing your work at local galleries or connect with community art organizations." Ava felt a spark ignite. "I love that idea," she exclaimed, her hands animated as they painted the scene in the air. "But what if they don't get me? What if they see just a girl on the sidewalk and not the story behind my art?" "That's where we come in," he replied, sharing in her enthusiasm. "We can craft a narrative that highlights not just the art, but the journey that led you here. People connect with stories. Your story." As they spoke, the street shifted from dusk to night, stars blinking down as if channeling the fate of their collaboration. New ideas bounced between them like fireflies, illuminating possibilities that filled her heart with both joy and fear. Ava suddenly thought of her mom. What do I say to my mom? She's all about keeping things close, protecting what we've built. She won't let me leap into the unknown so easily. Ben felt a twinge of sympathy. Is there a way to include her in this? Ava smiled softly. Maybe if I show her that it's not just business but a way to shine a light on our community? Exactly, Ben encouraged. Invite her to the first gallery talk. Let her see the connections we can build together. Ava glanced back at the crowd, still captivated by her art. There was power in what she created. They were not just eyes on her work, they were hungry for inspiration, for connection. What if it could ripple beyond her sidewalk? What if she could be a voice for others with stories like hers? As Ben outlined practical steps, excitement swelled in Ava's chest. But just as fast as hope ascended, doubt crept back in. What if it all falls apart? His gaze met hers firmly. Then we pick up the pieces together. No matter what. This is a journey, and every step counts. Feeling a new sense of purpose, they circled their ideas, shaping plans under the guidance of starlight. The shadows that once loomed over them shifted, twisting and bending into paths yet to be explored, but as they began to share their aspirations with each other, a voice broke the calmness. They turned to find someone from the crowd approaching. It was an art critic, a familiar face in the local press. Ava, she called, stepping into the light, I need to talk to you. The energy shifted instantly. Uncertainty filled the air, tension prickled at her skin, and Ava took a step back, her heart racing. What did she want? Did she come to praise or critique? Just as the possibilities seemed endless, a new fear gripped her. Would this encounter carve their future or shatter it before it had even begun? Ava stood frozen, her heartbeat echoing in her ears. The crowd seemed to fade, their chatter a distant murmur as the art critic drew closer. I saw your work from a distance, she began, her voice laced with curiosity. It pulled me in like a moth to a flame. Ava exchanged a look with Ben, who nodded encouragingly. Thank you, she replied, her voice barely above a whisper, a mix of eagerness and fear. The critic gestured at her artwork, vibrant colors bleeding into each other, stories trapped in those strokes. Your pieces are compelling. They speak of vulnerability and strength. I can feel the layers of your journey within them. Ava's breath hitched. Could this be the breakthrough she had dreamed of? You really think so? She asked, her doubt momentarily forgotten. Absolutely. The critic said, her eyes bright with enthusiasm. But we need to share that story. People want to connect with the artist, not just the art. Let us set up an interview. I want to get to know you and what inspired these pieces. A wave of disbelief washed over Ava. An interview? Just like that? I don't know, she stammered. What if I'm not good at this? Taking a leap is never easy, Ben interjected, his support a tangible presence beside her. But this is your voice. Don't hesitate to let it shine. Fueled by his words, Ava squared her shoulders. Okay, I'll do it. The weight of that decision felt monumental, like she was stepping onto a tightrope for the first time. Great. The critic smiled, a swirl of energy around her. Let us meet tomorrow morning. I'll bring along a photographer to capture the essence of your work. Your community needs to see this. Ava nodded, her mind racing. Help was on the way, but the vulnerability of revealing herself terrified her. What if they didn't understand? What if she couldn't articulate the voice that echoed in her heart? As the critic walked away, excitement mingled with anxiety surged through her. Ben watched her closely, sensing the internal debate. You nailed it back there, he said gently. You deserve this opportunity. Thank you, she replied, her smile faltering briefly as thoughts of her mother flickered in her mind. There would be no sheltering from the truth now. But what do I tell my mom? Ben contemplated for a moment. Why not show her the interview? Let her see you shine. It may help her understand what this means to you. Ava's heart swelled at the idea, though lingering doubt still flickered like a candle about to go out. What if she tries to pull me back, like always? We can handle it together. His gaze softened. You're stronger than you know, Ava. We'll forge ahead, come what may. With renewed determination, Ava took a deep breath. For the first time that evening, she felt a deep connection to her roots, her story. An uncertain world lay ahead, but it felt lighter now, almost like the art that surrounded them, full of possibilities. As they planned for the interview, thoughts of the critic's words echoed in her mind, mixing with memories of her mother's protective embrace. She exhaled slowly, allowing hope to seep in. If only her mom could understand that sharing her art wasn't just a step away but a leap toward something greater. The stars shone down on them, just as bright as the possibilities ahead. Ava felt ready to embrace the unknown, to let her voice resonate far and wide. But just as their conversation began to solidify, Ben's phone buzzed violently in his pocket. He looked down and his eyebrows shot up in shock. Oh no, Ava, I think you need to see this. Ava leaned in, dread pooling in her stomach. What news could this be? Would it illuminate their path, or cast shadows over the hope she'd just found? Would they be pushed even further into the light, or pulled back into darkness? Ava's heart raced as she read the headline over Ben's shoulder. The words seemed to pulse on the screen, each letter more startling than the last. CEO discovers incredible art by Black girl on sidewalk, heartwarming transformation revealed. What the? She murmured, her voice trembling. The article was accompanied by a vivid photograph of her work, one of her favorite pieces, taken from a vibrant angle. But the notion of being labeled heartwarming unsettled her. The implications behind those words felt like a box closing around her, suffocating her true self. Ben's eyes scanned the piece quickly, his expression shifting from joy to concern. This is amazing. Look, they're talking about your art, Ava. People will see you, but at what cost? Ava interrupted, her tone rising. This isn't just about some feel-good story. This is my life. My experiences on display, and now the world thinks they can reduce it to a simple narrative. He placed a comforting hand on her shoulder. I get it. But you can control how you present your story. This could still be your moment. Whatever twist they put on it, you have the power to share the real truth in your interview tomorrow. Ava squeezed her eyes shut, trying to quell the storm inside her. She longed for recognition, yet the pressure to fit into someone else's narrative left her feeling exposed. What if they twist my words? What if they don't see the struggle behind the colors? Art is not just beauty, it's pain, joy, identity. And it's also hope, Ben added softly, looking her directly in the eyes. That's the part that matters. This could be the bridge between you and your mom, too. If she sees how much your work means to you, she might finally understand. His words felt both comforting and frustrating. She wanted to believe in the hope he offered, but cynicism tugged at her. It's one article. What if I'm just another story to them? Just another girl from the sidewalk? What if they tear me apart before I even get a chance to speak? Ava's chest tightened with the gravity of her fears. The whispers of self-doubt sunk in deeper. Just then, her phone buzzed in response to the viral headline, a flood of notifications lighting up the screen. Messages from friends, family, and strangers alike wanting to congratulate her. Every ping felt like a small blade, each one a reminder of the vulnerability that came with this unexpected attention. I need space, Ava finally said, pressing her fingers against her temples. Just for a moment. Ben nodded, respecting her need for distance. I'm here when you're ready. Don't forget that. Ava stepped away, slipping through the crowd, the vibrations of excitement trailing behind her. She wanted to breathe, to isolate herself from the flood of opinions crashing in. Each step took her further from the party, and closer to the quiet refuge of a nearby park. As she sat on a vacant bench, she let the silent night envelop her. The stars twinkled above, and for a moment, it felt as though they had aligned just for her. She thought again of her mother and the way she had always shielded her from the world. Was this what she had been protecting Ava from? Vulnerability? Fear? Or a chance to truly live? Drawing a deep breath, she opened her phone, choosing to confront her thoughts instead of running from them. She began typing a message to her mother, hoping to bridge the gap between their worlds. But the words twisted and turned, refusing to settle on the page. Just as clarity flickered in her mind, her phone buzzed again. Another notification. Another reminder of the world waiting for her. With trepidation, she glanced at the screen. What now? Would it be more praise, or was it something that would pull her further from the light she was just beginning to see? Ava's stomach churned as she stared at her phone. The notification icon blinked furiously, taunting her with the possibility of good or bad news. She hesitated, caught in a moment where she could choose to look away or confront the chaos. With a shaky breath, she tapped the screen. A message from a local arts blog popped up. "We'd love to feature your art and story. Can we schedule an interview?" Her heart surged, but not with joy. It was a mix of excitement and dread simmering beneath the surface. This could be an opportunity, an invitation to control the narrative. But the weight of the world's expectations pressed down hard, making it feel like a trap instead of a chance. As she mulled over the request, her past echoed in her mind. Memories swirled like brush strokes on a canvas, fragments of her childhood, moments of inspiration tangled with heartbreak. The constant urge to create had always been there, a fire fueled by the complexities of her identity and the world around her. But getting lost in that narrative of the girl from the sidewalk felt like a betrayal to everything she had fought for. Ava closed her eyes, envisioning her art, the raw colors, the deep emotion seeped into every piece. It was more than just a hobby. It was survival. Each stroke, each splash of paint embodied pain, joy, and questions that had no answers. If her art was ever stripped of its meaning, what would be left? The night was still, yet her mind raced. She needed to talk to someone. Ben's face flashed before her, his warmth, his unwavering support. With a burst of determination, she replied to the message, cautiously accepting the invitation but on her own terms. "I'm open to an interview, but I want to discuss how my art isn't just a feel-good story." With that decision made, a wave of relief washed over her, momentarily quieting the voices of doubt nagging at her spirit. Ava glanced back toward the park entrance, where shadows danced under the streetlights, a soft reminder of the outside world still waiting for her return. As she got up from the bench, her heart thumped with renewed energy. Ava was ready to embrace the challenge ahead. But the nagging worry remained. What if they didn't listen? What if they saw her story through a distorted lens? After all, the world often preferred tidy narratives over messy realities. A rustle in the bushes startled her from her thoughts. She turned, heart racing again, to find an older woman approaching, her graying hair reflecting the moonlight. There was a familiarity in the way she walked, like someone who had seen many sunsets and also many struggles. "Excuse me," she said warmly, her eyes sparkling with kindness. "I couldn't help but overhear you talking to yourself." Ava chuckled nervously, her instinctive barriers ready to rise. But something about the woman's presence tugged at her, a need to connect, to share the weight of her burdens. "Can I help you?" Ava asked, uncertain yet curious about this unexpected encounter. The woman's smile deepened as she stepped closer. "Sometimes, uninvited conversations are the most revealing, don't you think?" Ava felt a chill run down her spine. The word struck a chord, awakening a flicker of something profound within her. What mysteries might this woman reveal? Could she offer the insight Ava desperately sought? The park seemed to hold its breath, and the night felt more alive than before. "Can I share a story with you?" Ava found herself asking, her heart opening tentatively to the stranger before her. As the woman nodded, Ava felt hope stir inside her once more. Perhaps this was just the beginning of a much larger transformation. Ava took a deep breath, her heart pounding as the older woman settled onto the bench beside her. The night air buzzed with anticipation, as if nature itself was leaning in to hear their conversation. "I'm Ava," she said, feeling an urge to fill the silence. I create art. It's been my escape, you know." The woman's eyes gleamed with understanding. "I can see that. Art is a powerful voice. It allows us to express what words often fail to convey." Ava nodded slowly, feeling the weight of those words sink in. "It's just, sometimes I wonder if anyone really gets what I'm trying to say." "What do you want to say?" the woman asked, her tone gentle yet probing. Ava hesitated, her fears bubbling to the surface. "I don't want to be just another story, a blip in the narrative that people can easily digest and forget. My art, my life, it's not just about overcoming difficulties. It's about the fight, the grit, the relentless push against the tide. There's the heartbeat. It's so easy for others to simplify a story. But complexity is what makes us human," the woman replied, her voice warm and encouraging. Ava could feel the tension in her chest beginning to loosen. She took another breath and shared a piece of her journey, starting from the first brush she ever held, to the struggles of being seen as more than just the girl from the sidewalk. As she spoke, the memories felt real, each struggle and triumph unfolding in the cool night air like a vivid painting. The woman listened intently, her expression growing thoughtful. "You're not alone in that feeling. Many artists struggle with how their work is perceived, myself included. In fact, I once felt invisible in a world that favored polished surfaces over authenticity." The admission struck Ava like a bolt of lightning. "You? Really?" "Yes. We each have our battles. Art isn't just about making it pretty, it's about revealing our truths," she continued. "This is your moment to embrace that truth. Your upcoming interview could be your chance to shift the narrative. Speak your heart." Ava felt an unfamiliar spark ignite within her, a flicker of courage mixing with excitement. What if they don't want to hear it? What if it's too raw, too real for them? Then find another audience. "There are those who will appreciate the depth of your journey," the woman assured her. "And even if it feels uncomfortable, every story shared adds layers to our understanding." Ava considered this, wrestling with the implications of opening up. Could she be brave enough to lay herself bare? The woman leaned closer, her voice now a whisper. "You have to take the leap, Ava. Art is about connection. You never know who might need to hear your story or see your work." Ava felt a renewed determination take root in her heart. This unexpected encounter was turning a corner for her. It was no longer just about the art but the message she could wield. "I don't want to just be heard. I want to make a difference," she murmured, almost to herself. The older woman smiled, a knowing look dancing in her eyes. "Then let that desire fuel your next strokes. You have a unique voice, don't let anyone drown it out." As they spoke, it felt as if the darkness around them faded, replaced by a warm glow of purpose. This encounter was beginning to feel more than coincidental. It felt like a stepping stone to something greater. Just then, a commotion nearby caught their attention, a group of young people laughing, snapping photos of the moonlit park. The energy was infectious, and Ava found herself smiling with them, feeling a shift in her world. What if I showed them my work? She wondered aloud, her heart fluttering at the thought. The woman gave her an encouraging nod. "Be bold. Show them what you've created, and let your art speak for itself." Ava took in a deep breath, a swirl of excitement and anxiety mixing inside her. What was she ready to do now? The park pulsed with life, but as she glanced at the woman beside her, one question hung in the air like a note waiting to be played. What if embracing my truth leads to my biggest fear or my greatest triumph? The night held its breath, and Ava felt on the edge of something monumental, ready to dive deeper into both herself and the art that defined her very being. Ava's heart raced as she watched a group of friends snap pictures under the glow of the moon. It felt electric, like the world around her was a canvas bursting with color and possibility. And yet, she sat there, wavering between excitement and fear. What if they laugh? Her voice trembled slightly as she asked the woman beside her. Is that what you truly fear? The woman's eyes were steady, penetrating. Or is it the fear of not being understood? Ava paused, a shiver washing over her. It's both, she whispered, the truth hanging in the evening air like a thick fog. Courage isn't the absence of fear, my dear, the woman said softly, her gaze unwavering. Courage is acting in spite of it. Your truth could very well light up someone's dark day, even if they don't see what you see at first. Those words clung to Ava, each syllable grounding her thoughts. She looked down at her hands, the calluses on her fingers were testimonies of late nights spent painting, of days when art helped her breathe. I've worked so hard to express something real, but what if it's still not enough? Art is never about being enough. It's about being honest. Every brushstroke carries a piece of you, and that's what will resonate. With her heart echoing against her ribcage, Ava stole a glance back at the group. Their laughter was carefree. What if she stepped forward? Do you think they care? She asked, her voice wavering. The woman smiled warmly, a motherly light in her eyes. You'd be surprised at what people care about when you share yourself. That's the magic of authenticity. Ava's breath hitched, and before she could second-guess herself, she stood up. Her legs felt like jelly, but determination poured into her. I'm going to show them, she declared, more to herself than to anyone else. As she approached the group, their chatter faded. The laughter seemed to wrap around her like a warm blanket, but Ava felt exposed. In the pocket of her jacket, her phone buzzed softly, reminding her of the images she had captured, the pieces she had fought for. Hey! She called, her voice carrying more confidence than she felt. The laughter died down, and several heads turned to look at her. Mind if I share something with you all? The group exchanged curious glances, a mix of surprise and intrigue sparking in the air. Sure. What you got? One of the guys said, his tone friendly. Ava took a deep breath, grounding herself. She pulled out her phone, navigating past her photos to the art pieces she had poured her soul into. I want to show you my art. It's a part of me. The crowd leaned in, their expressions shifting from casual interest to genuine curiosity. As Ava delicately scrolled through her artwork, she saw their eyes widen, mouths parting in awe at the vibrancy and depth. Whoa, this is amazing! A girl exclaimed. I love the colors. Ava's heart swelled, heat flushing her cheeks as she spoke. Thank you. This one is called Resilience. It's about overcoming what life throws at you. The compliments flowed, and as each person responded, she felt a warm glow burn brighter within her. Do you ever think of putting this up in a gallery? Another voice asked, tinged with excitement. Ava blinked, her mind racing. A gallery? The mere thought filled her with both joy and terror. Yet, the words of the woman beside her floated in her mind, courage is acting in spite of fear. Maybe I will, she murmured, a spark of possibility lighting her eyes. Suddenly, she noticed the older woman standing behind her, a proud smile lighting up her face. They locked gazes, and Ava felt the weight of their conversation wash over her. She was being bold. As the crowd's laughter returned, Ava felt the sense of community forming right before her. The noise of their embrace and encouragement created a symphony of connection, drowning out all her doubts. Before long, her anxious heart began to believe in the possibilities. But just then, her phone buzzed again, a new message lighting up the screen. Can't wait to discuss next week's collector showcase. Art is calling. A mixture of hesitation and exhilaration washed over her. Was she really ready for the next step? What had she just opened herself up to, and would the world embrace her just as this moment did? Ava stood there, her heart pounding wildly in her chest as she stared at the message flashing on her screen. The words loomed over her like a heavy cloud, speaking of commitment and exposure, of taking bold strides forward into the unknown. She felt the world around her blur for a moment, drowning in her swirling thoughts. "Are you okay?" A warm voice pulled her back into the present. It was the girl who had first complimented her work. Her eyes were filled with genuine concern, cutting through Ava's fog of uncertainty. I think so," Ava replied, trying to sound more certain than she felt. "I just got this message about a showcase for collectors. It sounds awesome but intimidating." "Intimidating, yes. But it could be your chance." The girl encouraged, her excitement tangible. "People want to discover fresh talent, and your art? It speaks. It screams. You need to be out there." Ava bit her lip, a mix of fear and hope fluttering in her stomach. Would her art make an impact? Was she ready to expose herself so fully to a world she barely knew? What if they don't see it like you do? Ava's voice trembled, age-old insecurities creeping back in like shadows. "Then you keep showing it until they do." The girl shot back, unwavering. "Art is meant to provoke thoughts and emotions. It's supposed to be shared. You can't do that hiding away." Her words rippled through Ava, igniting a spark she didn't know was there. Maybe this was the moment she had been waiting for. Encouragement washed over her as the group buzzed with excitement, each person sharing their thoughts about her art. They discussed colors, techniques, and the stories behind the paintings. The connection was profound, the laughter still ringing in her ears like sweet music. Ava found herself smiling uncontrollably, feeling a sense of belonging she had longed for. Why wait for next week? Another voice piped up. "You could have an impromptu gallery right here tonight. Show us what you got." Ava was taken aback, her cheeks flushing with the idea. "Right here?" "Absolutely. We could just clear this area, use the moonlight to help. Everyone is so pumped about your work." Someone else chimed in, pointing to the empty space beside them. Ava took a deep breath. When was the last time she allowed spontaneity to take the wheel? Too often she clung to plans, to timetables. But this felt alive. Could she ride this wave of newfound courage? "Okay, let's do it," she said, her voice steady now. The thrill of excitement coursed through her. The friends began rearranging their picnic setup, shifting blankets to create makeshift display spaces. Ava's heart soared, her enthusiasm blending seamlessly with the warm summer night. As her art began to take its place under the starlit sky, comments flowed freely. "Look at this one. What an amazing perspective. Do you see that emotion? It's breathtaking." Ava watched as the crowd began to gather around her pieces, their faces lit with wonder. The fears she carried felt like old clothes she was shedding for a new and vibrant outfit. For the first time, she felt like she could truly belong, like she was not just an observer of life but an integral part of its colorful fabric. With every passing moment, self-doubt slipped further away. She realized that each brushstroke held her voice, her story. And at that moment, she felt ready to share it completely, but just as exhilaration settled in, her phone buzzed again. This time, it was a familiar number. "Ava. You won't believe who wants to find you after seeing your work. We need to talk. Call me ASAP." A chill shuffled down her spine as hope and anxiety tangled together once more. Who was it? What did this mean for her? Could she really be on the brink of a transformation that would change everything? Ava stood amidst the vibrant chaos, her art glowing under the soft moonlight, a gallery born out of spontaneity. It felt like freedom, an exhilarating release. As her friends encouraged her, sharing opinions and clapping, the weight of uncertainty began to lift. She had stepped off the tightrope and found solid ground. Her heart was soaring, but then, the buzz of her phone sliced through the joyful atmosphere. The familiar name sparked a surge of anxiety. "Who is it?" she murmured, her fingers trembling slightly as she opened the message. Someone wants to find you after seeing your work. Call me ASAP. A wave of adrenaline rushed through her. Who could it be? Was it someone from the article, the arts blog, or even a gallery? Each possibility sent her mind racing with a mixture of excitement and fear. She glanced around at her friends, their laughter echoing against the backdrop of night. Ava realized the warmth of their presence anchored her, providing a safety net she hadn't realized she needed. With a reassuring smile, she turned to them. I need to take this call. Just a moment. Go for it. They cheered, their voices full of encouragement, reminding her once again of the power of community. Ava stepped away, her heart pounding as she hit the call button. Hey! What is going on? Ava. The voice on the other end was animated, filled with urgency. You won't believe it. The lead curator from the downtown gallery saw your work online. She's incredibly moved and wants to meet with you. A surge of joy rushed through Ava, but it was quickly tempered by caution. What does she want? To discuss potentially showcasing your pieces. She's really excited about the story behind your art and believes it can inspire others. Her stomach twisted into knots. It sounded amazing, but there was that fear again, the fear of being reduced to a narrative, of losing the essence of the vibrant girl who poured her soul into chalk. But what if she wants to change everything? She's approached you because of who you are, Ava. Your art speaks volumes. Remember what we talked about, own your truth. Make it clear what you want from this. Taking a deep breath, Ava remembered the woman from the park, how she had encouraged her to embrace this moment. Okay, she said slowly, mind whirling with possibilities. When can we meet? Tomorrow afternoon. I'll send over all the details. This could be it, Ava. As the call ended, exhilaration mixed with uncertainty diffused through her. Would she really be ready for this? But standing there, looking back at her friends, her art alive and thriving under the stars, something shifted inside her. They believed in her and this moment was as much theirs as it was hers. Returning to the group, Ava felt a fire ignite within. Guys, I just got a call, a curator wants to meet with me about a gallery show. All the cheers erupted at once. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. You did it. Your art is getting recognized. Ava's heart swelled, and as life pulsed around her, she realized something profound. It was more than just her individual success. This moment was a collective victory, the culmination of every whispered fear, every brushstroke, and every struggle. In that moment of clarity, she began to understand her place in this larger narrative. While she could not control how the world perceived her, she could navigate her own story with authenticity and strength. Yet deep down, she knew challenges waited. Her mother's concerns about privacy loomed large. But tomorrow, she would carry not only her message but the resonance of their past, the blending of hopes and fears. She would walk into that gallery, heart open, ready to bridge new paths. Tomorrow is going to be huge, she whispered to herself, feeling the cool night air wrap around her like a protective embrace. As they huddled together, basking in the warmth of their collective spirit, Ava felt a glimmer of light pierce the shadows of doubt. With plans for the showcase swirling in her mind, she understood that while storms may come, her journey had just begun. There was a whole community awaiting her, ready to stand by her side as she colored outside the lines, ready to tell the vibrant story behind the chalk, the girl, and the art she shared. This was just the beginning. So, my friends, this is your moment. Subscribe immediately to the channel so you don't miss the next exclusive stories that will inspire you. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm, it truly makes a difference. Comment below with your reactions and feelings about this incredible transformation. And share instantly this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this journey. Don't wait not even one more second to spread the hope and inspiration we all need. True fans like you understand the power of support.